everybody, this is Melanie. Welcome back to Crafting Chaos with Melanie. I hope everybody's doing good today. Today's video is just a fun, laid-back video, and I love doing these. I love just showing you some tips and tricks and different techniques, and that's what we're going to do today. So I'm just going to get right into it. I got my Maymay's Stamp of the Month this month, and it is one of my favorites. I absolutely love this stamp set. It's called Petal Pals. Look how stunningly gorgeous this is. Now, I'm not a big colorist. I can do it. I do it, but it's not my favorite thing in the world to do. So I wanted to do some cards with this without coloring. And so that's what we're doing today. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an ink blended background. And I'm going to show you a cool way to just get a really gorgeous background. Okay, so what I did is I cut a sheet of paper. Now this is Strathmore, let's see what this is called. Yeah, Strathmore Bristol Smooth Surface, because this is what I had. Water is going to be involved in this, and I highly recommend like a watercolor paper, but this does really good. It's not watercolor paper. It's heavyweight though, and it doesn't warp as bad. I don't recommend like a Michaels or anything like that, because that type of cardstock seems to peel. This one doesn't, so I'm going with it. All right. And then I pulled out my Catherine Puller color wheel. You know how much I love Catherine Puller. And I wanted some fall color combos. So some things that I pulled out, I did the yellow green. So if you go here to the yellow green, right here, I pulled out lemongrass with an olive and green tea. So I've got lemongrass with an olive and green tea. So I did that one. I'll show you the results of that one when we get to it. I also did the red orange, and I pulled in terracotta, clay mask, and polished. Okay, and this color wheel tells me that these work together. These are the colors in the same color family. Whenever you're working with this type, I do recommend that you do colors in the same color family, or to the left or to the right of the color family. What we're going to do on camera is the orange, and what I pulled in was orange peel, Mandarin spice, and ginger. Okay, so we're going to do an ink blended background on this piece of cardstock. It's really fun. I love doing it. And what I like to do is I like to start with the lightest color first. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and I've got some ink blending tools that I've already used. And if I'm not mistaken, this one is the orange peel. So we're just going to go in here, and we are going to get our little blending tool. I get these off Amazon. I actually have some more coming in because I've used so much of these, and they're not that expensive. I get 24 for like $21. And there are companies that have their own, but you know, these work really, really good. I also recommend getting a scraps sheet of paper, just something here. I'm gonna get this because you don't want to get the oil of your fingers all over this. Make sure, yeah, I'm in camera. So I'm just doing a really light blend in the middle, right? You see that? Okay, so that is your orange peel. Okay. Next I have, let's see here, I think that's this one. Yeah. Next I have Mandarin spice. So I'm just going to take my Mandarin spice, and I'm just going to come back in here with Mandarin. See, that's a darker. See how pretty this is? Wait, I'm not done. Wait till you see everything we do to this background. So I'm staying out of the middle. Okay, I'm staying out of the middle. See, the middle's still pretty light. I went a little bit further in than I wanted to, but that's okay. And now I'm going to take the ginger. I love this ginger. This ginger is so pretty. I'm going to take the ginger, and I'm just going to go around the very edge of the paper. Right? Just the very edge of the paper. I don't want to go in. I just want to And I'm going in with kind of a heavy hand. All right. And you're like, Melanie, I can see the strokes. You can, but by the time I'm done, it does not matter. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to the orange peel. I'm just going to go over it and just kind of blend a little bit. Right? Okay. Now, we're going to play a little bit. This is where things change. Put these up. Okay. I love doing this. I love, love, love doing this. Okay. First thing you see, you have a bunch of ink on this mat. Do you see that? And Catherine Puller inks are water reactive. So I am going to take a water bottle and I am going to activate that ink. Right? And you saw this sheet of paper that I used for my hands. So I'm just going to take that sheet of paper. Gosh, this is fun, guys. I love doing this. And I am just going to cover that up. Look at that background. I actually have another sheet here. And I'm just going to go over the whole sheet and see what we get. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And you have a whole background. Gosh, I love this. All right. I'm just setting these two to the side. I'm not really doing anything with those today, but I will do something with them. Now, I'm going to take my water, and I'm going to do that just a little bit more. You see it's in there a little bit more? And I'm going to take my Technique piece, and I'm just going to throw it in there. I'm just going to touch it and throw it in there. I want you to look what it did to it. Okay. So we are done with this. We're going to take this out of the way. I'm going to wipe this down a little bit. Now this might get a little bit loud, but I am going to dry this, okay? You can just let this set and let it dry. That works too, but I just want to show you something. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Just give it a dry. And now I'm going to take this and wipe it up. Oh, this is so pretty. Then I'm going to take my splatter box, my mess box, my gold box. Here's the box. This is where I do my gold splatter. Look what a mess. This is just a straight up mess, but that's okay. I'm going to take my Technique piece in there and I am going to spray some gold. What gold are we going to use? We are going to use this gold. We're going to let that water sit there a minute. I love these inks. Anybody that knows me knows I love these inks. I use these inks. You pull my videos from last fall. I use these inks so much. I want you to look at what a gorgeous background this is. Is that not stunning? Look at that. And this is definitely like a mixed, kind of a mixed media, I guess you would say. But look at this, how pretty. Isn't that pretty? Let me show you the ones I did with the color combos that we are talking about. These were some just leftover pieces from the ones that I cut. Look at those. This one is the polished clay mask and terracotta. That's that one. Look how gorgeous that is. This one is the orange colors that we just did. Look at that. And there's another one that's leftovers. Aren't these gorgeous? These are just stunning. I love them. I love them. All right, so let's step it up a notch. And I'm going to show you what I do when I don't want to color. Forgive my mat, guys. I've been playing. It's fine. So here's the one that we are going to be doing today. Now, let me tell you what I've done. This is going to be a 5x7 card, first of all. I wanted to go bigger. I used two dies, a couple of dies. I used these dies from Catherine Puller. I will link them. I don't know the names off the top of my head. But I just took this and I centered it on the paper and I cut it out, okay? Then, on this color cardstock, this is Sizzix. cardstock. It's the textured cardstock. They're real pretty easy texture. This is really good to make mini albums with, by the way. And I took the same die. Let me show you what I did. I can't get a hold of it. I took the same die, I put it on there. Then I took a companion die, these oblong dies, and I did that, and I taped it, and I cut it out. And when you do that, you put a die into a die, you get a frame. And that's what that frame is, okay? All right, so we got that done. Now, I was talking about how I don't like to color, or I'm not a big colorist. So what I'm going to do is we are going to take this floral, this flower, and we are going to emboss it on this piece of paper. Now, there's two things you need to do when you're embossing. The one thing you need to do, especially doing an ink blended background, you need a deactivator tool, and all this is a pouch with baby powder in it. I think cornstarch, you can use cornstarch. If you don't have one of these and you have some nylon hose, get you a pair of nylon hose, cut them, and in the foot, like cut above the foot, and throw you some baby powder in it, tie it, and voila, you got one. It's very simple. Guys, I used that for years. I straight up used that for years. It was insane. Then I'm going to get my VersaFine ink, and whenever you're embossing, you want a watermark stamp pad. So that's what this is. This is archival oil-based ink. So VersaMark is what I'm using. And on the embossing powder, I'm going to be using Brutus Monroe Gilded on this one, okay? So that's what we need. So I want to make sure this is really good and embossed. So I'm going to grab one of my stamping tools. And what I have here handy is the Misty, so that's what I'm grabbing. And we are going to take these magnets that don't want to come out. Okay, so what I'm doing here is we are going to emboss this flower on here. All right, so let's just take this, and we're going to do the top one first. So let's just magnetize this down. We're going to take our deactivator tool, and we're going to put this on there. Okay. Now, I messed up, and I didn't get the top and the bottom even when I did the frame. So to make it look even, I'm going to come off this just a little bit. I mean, guys, I'm more than likely the only one that's going to be seeing it. So let's just, I don't think anybody's going to get your handmade card and look at it and measure it. But it does seem like the more I do it, you know, I'm harder on myself. All right, so you just want to stamp that down really good. I like doing it 2 or 3 times. Okay, now I'm going to move this and put it on that side. I don't want to touch where I just stamped because you're not going to be able to see it. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to do the same thing. This one's going to be off just a little bit, but that's okay. I don't care. It'll be all right. All right, so we're going to take this. We're going to do the deactivator tool. And what that's doing is getting rid of any of the oil from your hands, the grease and the grime from your hands, the ink from the paper that you've used. All right, let's do that one more time. Okay, all right, so we're done with that. Now, I'm not going to clean this right now, but whenever you're using the VersaFine ink for embossing, you need to clean your stamp really good because, guys, it puts a haze on your stamps. It comes off, but you definitely need to clean it, okay? All right, so let's put that to the side. Let's get I get a piece of copy paper. Watch this come alive. If you're new to crafting, this is like magic. Watch this. Look at that. How pretty. And then we're going to come here and we're going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to take a paintbrush. Here we go. go. And we'll make sure I have it off the plastic. I don't want this on my plastic. Okay. All right. And then I always just put mine back in here because when you use that dryer, when you use the embossing tool, it's going to blow that everywhere. So you can tell I love gold embossing powder. This is huge. I don't know how many ounces this is. This is a lot of embossing powder. It's 6 ounces. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now we are going to take our heat tool, and this is an extra hot heat tool right here. And what this is going to do, it's going to melt the embossing powder, okay? So I'm going to turn it on low so it's not so loud. And I'm going to let this heat up just a little bit. And I'm just going to go here. I'm going to get this up. And you're going to see this start turning. Alright, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go higher. Okay. Look at that. It's like magic. Can you see that? I hope the camera's picking it up. And it just goes through and it melts that embossing powder. And when it starts, it's so fast. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay. All right. So we've got that melted. Look at those florals on there. Wait a minute. There's a piece here not melted. Let me get that. You can tell. You can tell, but look at that. Do you see how pretty that is? And I didn't color. It's just very subtle. And I'll tell you something else you can do. I have a blender pen somewhere. Right here it is. And you can just take this blender pen and it will lighten some of this up. You could take a water pen and lighten some of this up. Do you see that? I don't know if you can tell or not. It's very subtle. So if you want to lighten that up a little bit, you can. Do you see that? Isn't that pretty? I love it. It's very subtle. It's pretty. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to turn this into a shaker card. So what I did is I took a piece of acetate, and the acetate that I used is from Michael's Recollections. I thought I had some handy. Here we go. I got 12 pieces of 6x6, and I use this for cards. I don't need the big 12x12 sheets for cards. I do have 12x12, but I save those for my mini albums. And I put a piece of acetate on the back of that. Now, I'm going to take a rag here, just a cloth, and I'm going to cloth that off really good. And we are going to go ahead and we are going to get another mat up here because my mat is just awful. Okay, so we have that there. So the key to making a shaker is foam. You have to have some dimension between the card and the piece behind it, right? So the piece behind it is going to be this right here. It says, I'm glad I can look to you when I need a friend. All right, so this is, we're going to put that there with some shaker bits, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the outside of this with foam tape, okay? And what I'm using is, this is Scotch foam tape. This is thinner. I'll show you in a minute, but I did double it on one and I didn't like it. I would like to have some foam tape that's a little bit thicker than this, but not as thick as it being double-sided. I didn't care for that. So what we're doing is we're building a fence around the outside of this for the shaker pieces that we're going to put in there. We don't want any of those shaker bits to get out, right? So that's what we're doing. We're actually building, it's just like a fence, like a little fence we're building to put this in. So I just need one small piece to put that in there, and I'm just going to, let me needs to be just a little bit more. Okay, so we're just going to take that there. Okay, now let me put this back on here and make sure I don't see any of it, and I don't. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, a little tip, I always take this off first, because when you put your shaker bits in there and you start pulling this, they're going to move around and just, you know, be where you don't want them to be. All right, so we're going to put that there. And what I'm using is a sequence mix that I don't even see. Oh, here we go. I'm using Tuscany by Catherine Pooler, and I'm just pouring a little bit of this in there, and it's got a little bit of blue along with the orange, so it just kind of gives it a little contrast in there. I really like that. And I'm also using some sea beads. This is just something I got at Michael's or Hobby Lobby a long time ago. I've had this forever, and these last forever, and I'm just taking the small sea beads and I'm putting them in here like that. Not a lot of shaker bits, because this is, it's not as tall. There's not as much dimension in the foam tape. Let me put a little bit more of these little ones. I think I need a little bit more. Okay, now you're going to take this and you're just going to level it up to where the sentiment is in the middle. And there we go. And voila, you got a shaker. Oh, I love it. Okay, now I do have a card base already made. And this is 5x7. I went with a bigger card, and we are just going to glue this on here. Now, right through here, I need some more foam tape. I need all this to be one level. Notice I messed up. I just flipped it over. So we're going to do that there, and then I'm just going to do a little piece. I'm just going to cut this down. Has anybody put their fall decor up yet? I am behind. I always had mine up August the 1st, but I had company. My son was in for several days with his girlfriend, so I didn't get near as much done. That's why this video is a little bit simpler, but I love Maymay's Stamp of the Month. I am a Stamp Club member, and I love showing that on my channel to show you different ways to use the stamp. So this stamp, I have seen people use it instead of a sunflower, just use like different colors, pinks and reds, and just making it look like a different flower, and that's what I love about it. You can do whatever you want, or you can do like me and decide, hey, I don't want to color it, so I'm going to emboss it. Alright, so here we go. And we're going to put this right here. Well, I guess I need adhesive, don't I? Oh, let's get this glue gun going. That is so funny. I try to do things ahead of time. That way the videos aren't quite as long. But I think maybe I want to start putting everything in it and just kind of fast forwarding through some things so you see it, but it's not, you know, necessarily in real time. Oh my goodness, look at that card. Look at the card. The card is gorgeous. Now, I got some metallic gold and silver metallic markers, so I'm just going to go on this, and I just think it would be pretty to put some dots. These are very subtle, just kind of blend in with the other. Just see, yeah, it does a little bit. Not that much, but a little bit. Okay, now, so this is what I did here. Let me show you some other cards that I did with the same technique, and I'll show you my favorite, but I'll also show you why I didn't do this one on camera. Okay, so this is the greens, right? This is the with an olive, let's see, with an olive, green tea, and lemongrass. So that's this one. This was the first one, and this is with the orange combo, right? And this has sparkling embossing. So I think I like the sparkling on this particular one a little bit better than the gilded. Same concept, right? And then I did this one. And I love this one. I love the colors. I absolutely love this. I embossed this on white cardstock. I did not color it, and I love it on the outside of the frame. However, I decided to double tape it, and I don't like it. It's not clean. It doesn't look clean. What I need to do is go on my Cricut and cut a frame out and frame this and see if I can't make it a little bit cleaned up or better. I'm just not a fan, and I'm not a fan because of all this right here. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just being too hard on myself. So let me ask you, which is your favorite color combo? The reds with the little touch of green, the orange, or the green with a little bit of yellow? I love the orange. This one's my favorite, but I wish I had more of these cut out, and that's probably what I'll do. I might go ahead and cut some of these out. I think that would be pretty there. But either way, all these are pretty. Aren't these gorgeous? I'm glad I can look to you when I need a friend. And on the inside of it, it could be a birthday card. It could be whatever occasion that you want it to be. All right, guys, this was just a simple video to have some fun with some backgrounds and show you how you can take a piece of white cardstock. So you take a piece of just solid white cardstock, watercolor paper, and you turn it into these. Look at that. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just stunning. That makes my heart sing. All right. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget the second video of the Slimline mini album to go back and watch that video. I tell you how you can be enter into a giveaway that I will be doing Saturday. I will be doing that giveaway this Saturday, August, let's see, today is Tuesday the 20th, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, August the 24th. So August the 24th, I will be drawing a winner for a Slimline mini album and a fall paper pack. And all the information in that will be in the video. I'll link that video below. Guys, you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.